A very good morning to all. Today we are going to start our second lecture of profit and loss. Is that clear? And I have expressed a good morning in a very good way. I hope you will all will like it. Let us start with the lecture now. See, you have already learned about profit and loss in the previous video which I have updated. Okay, so from there what we had is profit and loss are the two terms which are related to cost price and selling price. When it is said to be profit is when you are selling at a price higher than the cost price. For example, if you have bought a television of cost price 16,000 rupees and you sold it at 20,000 rupees, that means you gain 4,000 rupees extra, and that is your profit margin. Now about loss. Loss is when your selling price or when you are selling an object at a price less than the cost price. That means if you have bought that same television at rupees 16,000, okay, that was your cost price, and if you are selling it at 10,000, that means you are suffering a loss. Is that clear? So we have already discussed about profit and loss and its concept with the help of the example. Now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn profit and loss percentage. I hope you already know the meaning of percentage. Percentage means if you want to convert any number or a fraction into percentage, we multiply by 100. We multiply by 100. Multiply by 100. Okay. Now in calculating profit and loss, what we are going to do? In case of profit and loss, we know that either a profit or a loss is always considered by comparing it with the cost price. Okay, that means we will be just comparing the profit or loss with the cost price and then converting it into percentage by multiplying by 100. Now this is of profit percentage. We already know profit P is equals to SP minus CP. We have subtracted cost price from selling price because we have considered in case of profit we have selling price greater than the cost price. Now profit percent, it is the profit earned on every rupees 100 of the CP. That means we are comparing the profit per unit of the cost price, and therefore it is always calculated on the cost price. Therefore profit percent is equals to P upon CP. That means profit upon cost price, and now we are converting it into percentage. Therefore we multiplied the profit and CP ratio by 100. Now let us have one example for the calculation of profit percent. Tim bought a toy car for rupees 1200. So CP exactly is rupees 1200 and sold it to Andy for rupees 1500. So SP is rupees 1500. Now since SP, the selling price, is 1500 and CP, cost price, is 1200, therefore it is clear that selling price is greater than cost price. Therefore we have a profit. So profit, let us calculate the profit first. Profit is equals to selling price minus cost price, that is 1500 minus 1200, and therefore we had a profit of rupees 300. Now after calculating the profit, we have to convert it into percent as well. That means we have to calculate profit percent, and from the formula of profit percent, what we had? Profit upon CP. Either we take loss percent or profit percent. In the denominator, we will take cost price only. Is that clear? Now, profit percent is equals to profit. We are comparing it with the cost price, that is CP into 100. Now, after the calculation of profit, we had profit is equals to 300. Cost price is rupees 1200. Therefore, we are just dividing profit by CP and multiplying by 100. And we had 25% as the profit percent earned by Tim in just selling a car. Now the next topic is loss percent. Again, I told you when we had a loss, when we are selling something or when our selling price is less than the cost price or the price at which we bought something or an object. Now, loss is when CP is greater than SP. Therefore, loss is equals to CP minus SP. And similarly, as we did in profit, same we are going to do with the loss. We are going to calculate it on the cost price. That means we are going to compare it with the cost price. Therefore, we have the formula loss percent is equals to loss upon CP into 100. It's very easy. First, we need to calculate profit and loss, and then we compare it with cost price, and then we multiply by 100. Let us take one example of loss percent. Andy bought a toy car from Tim for rupees 1500, okay, and sold it for rupees 1350. Like the CP was 1500 and SP is 1350. Ultimately, SP is less than the CP. Therefore, we have a loss, and loss is equals to CP, which is 1500, minus SP, which is 1350, and is equals to rupees 150. Now we are asked to calculate loss percent. Therefore, loss percent is equals to loss upon cost price into 100. Loss is equals to 150. Cost price is 1500, and then comparing it, dividing it, and then multiplying by 100, we had 10% as the loss incurred by Andy in selling a toy car. Now, the next heading is overhead expenses. We have learnt about cost price. We have learnt about selling price. Now, what is this overhead expenses? Now, if I say we are just buying anything or any object, so we are paying a particular amount, that is the cost price. Now, other than the cost price, whatever the extra amount we are putting into an object, like if we have bought a television, we need to book an auto or a rickshaw or any vehicle for its transportation. So the amount which we are paying on transporting it, then for fixing it in a wall, we need someone, and he will also charge something for fixing it. Then the amount we will pay to the man also, and the extra amount what we are paying for its repairment, okay, for its carrying or for its transportation. So these are the extra expenses. So the extra amount which we are paying just to buy an object other than the cost price is known as overhead expenses. Therefore, these are also known as additional expenses. Additional means because we are paying it other than the cost price, so they are additional expenses. Overhead expenses are added to cost price. Okay, for example, Manish buys a cooler for rupees 7,000. So the amount which he paid for buying a cooler is 7,000. That was his CP. And spends rupees 150 on its transportation. That means on transporting a cooler from a shop to his home, he spent rupees 150, which is an additional amount. Therefore, if we want to calculate final cost price, then final cost price is equals to the cost price plus overhead expenses. That is final cost price. Final cost price is equals to the CP plus overhead expense. Is that clear? So this is final cost price. Therefore, in the case of the example, overhead expenses or additional charge is the amount he paid in transporting a cooler, that is 150 rupees. I hope this is clear to you all. In this video, what we have learned about, in the previous video we have already learned about profit, then loss. In this video we have learned about profit percent and loss percent, as well as one more term, that is overhead expenses. Now, in our next lecture or in our next homework, we will be just discussing few of the numericals from the book itself to clear your doubt more. I hope this video has helped you in clearing your doubts related to profit and loss and will help you in just solving the numericals as well. Thank you.